Hey, coin collectors and curious minds! What if I told you that a single penny from 1962 with a D mint mark could be worth $1.6 million today? Yeah, you heard that right, a penny! I know, it's wild, right? It's like finding a gold nugget in your couch cushions, only it's a tiny, copper piece of history. So grab your magnifying glass and let's dive into why this particular penny is worth more than your monthly rent, and what you can do to spot it. Trust me, you don't want to miss this one. Alright, let's get into it. In 1962, the US Mint made billions of pennies, and most of them are pretty much, well, just pennies. They're not worth much more than the copper they're made from. But wait! There's a special edition of the 1962 penny that can fetch you $1.6 million. And no, I'm not talking about some crazy lottery ticket or a rare error coin. I'm talking about the 1962 D. Lincoln penny. Sounds too good to be true? Stick with me. So, why is this penny so special? The key is in that little D mint mark. If you flip the coin over and look closely beneath Abraham Lincoln's feet, you'll see it. That D means it was minted in Denver, and while most 1962 pennies were made in Philadelphia, only a handful of these Denver pennies ended up with a rare error. It's an extraordinarily rare die variety, but what's so cool about it is the fact that it doesn't even look that different from a regular penny. Nope, no funky color, no holographic Lincoln, just a normal-looking copper coin. But that tiny error actually makes it a gold mine, not literally, though, unless you find the right penny. You see, the 1962 D penny that's worth millions is one with a D mint mark that's been struck by a worn-out die. It's a subtle mistake, but this minting issue created what collectors call a double die, meaning the design got stamped twice in a slightly off-center way. It's a crazy detail that most people would never notice, but coin collectors go wild for it. Now, I bet you're wondering, how do I know if I've got one of these rare pennies? Well, first, you'll want to check the mint mark, of course. If you have a 1962 penny with a D, that's step one. Then, it's time to get that magnifying glass out because you're looking for subtle doubling in the lettering and Lincoln's features. And let me tell you, it's not like finding a missing sock in the laundry room. It's going to take some patience and a good eye. But don't worry, there's no need to panic and start flipping through all your pennies like a maniac. Just remember, there's a reason this particular penny is so valuable. It's insanely rare, and so far, only a few lucky collectors have found one. Still, if you're serious about finding rare pennies, be on the lookout, because this could be your golden ticket. You just never know where treasure might be hiding, and no, I didn't find $1 million coin, but I did find a lot of 1990s pennies. Well, hey, at least I got some extra copper, right? Alright, so if you're out there looking for a 1962 D penny, just know that you've got to keep your eyes peeled. And remember, the value of a coin isn't always about how it looks, it's about what's hidden underneath. That tiny little mistake from the Denver Mint is what makes all the difference, and finding it could change your financial game. If you've got one of these in your pocket, you might just be richer than you think. And if you don't have one yet, don't lose hope. Start looking through your pennies and keep those magnifying glasses handy. Now, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Trust me, we've got loads more tips and tricks on coins that could make you a fortune, just like this 1962 D penny. Who knows? You could be the next lucky one. Stay sharp, coin hunters, and keep those treasures coming. Catch you in the next one. 1976 Lincoln 1 cent with NO mint mark. Stick around, because this little guy could literally make you rich. Let's get into it. I know what you're thinking, a penny worth $2 million. Yeah, sure, and my coffee's worth a mansion. But hold up, before you scroll away thinking I've lost my mind, I'm about to tell you why this penny could be sitting in your change jar right now, and you wouldn't even know it. So, let's break it down. We all know the 1976 penny. After all, it's a part of a pretty iconic year. It was the bicentennial of the United States, with tons of celebrations going on. The big question, why is this 1976 penny worth so much? Well, there's one key thing that makes it stand out from the rest. You see, Most pennies have a mint mark to show where they were made, the D for Denver, the S for San Francisco, or sometimes even a P if it was made in Philadelphia. But, and here's the kicker, the 1976 penny we're talking about has no mint mark. That's right, a 1976 penny without a mint mark is about as rare as finding a unicorn in your backyard. But let me tell you, these rare gems exist, and they're worth millions. Now, you're probably wondering, how the heck does a mint mark vanish, and why does this make the coin so special? Well, some experts think it was a mix-up at the Philadelphia Mint, and a handful of these were produced without the mint mark, making them a super rare find. It's like you went to a concert and somehow got the rarest of the limited edition merch. Like, everybody else got a regular t-shirt, but you ended up with the one with a special signature from the band. That's the vibe we're talking about here. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, okay, cool, but how in the world am I supposed to know if I've got one of these $1 million firsts? You need to know that these bad boys were issued in 1976, but it's specifically the ones made in Philadelphia. In fact, some estimates say only a couple of hundred of them were actually released to the public, and fewer still have survived in pristine condition. And when I say pristine condition, I mean these pennies need to be in mint condition. We're talking about high-quality grading that falls in the realm of mint state 68 or higher. If yours looks like it's been through a war and back, well, not so much. And you know what's wild? There's a chance you could find this penny in your pocket change, your grandpa's old coin jar, or even at a yard sale. So, my friend, keep your eyes peeled. I found my first rare coin at a garage sale. It was a 1943 steel penny. Granted, it wasn't worth millions, but it was definitely worth more than the 50 cents I paid for it. I'm not saying I'm a professional treasure hunter, but if I can score a gem like that, so can you. But here's the thing, if you think you might have one of these no mint mark 1976 pennies, you've got to get it checked out by a professional. I know. It sounds like a hassle, but trust me, it's worth the effort. You'd be shocked at how many people walk around with a small fortune in their pockets, completely unaware. Like, I once thought I had a rare coin, but after a professional grading, turns out it was a regular penny. But hey, it didn't hurt to try, right? So let's wrap this up. If you stumble upon a 1976 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, and it's in top condition, congratulations, my friend, you're sitting on a small fortune. We're talking upwards of $1.9 million. Can you imagine? You could take that money, buy a vintage car, or, oh, I don't know, retire early and live like a coin mogul. You'll never look at a penny the same way again. Coin collecting isn't just about luck. It's about knowledge, strategy, and keeping your eyes peeled for those hidden gems. So, if you want to learn more about coins worth money and tips on how to spot these rarities before anyone else does, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. And hey, drop a comment below if you've found any crazy rare coins in your pocket change. Let's share the stories. 1964 D Lincoln penny you've been tossing in the jar might be worth a small fortune. Stick around, because today, I'm diving into the insane value of the 1964 D Lincoln penny. Spoiler alert, it could be worth up to $1.6 million. Alright, let's not get carried away, or do we? Because, trust me, you're gonna want to know about this. Okay, so let's start with the basics. What's so special about the 1964 D Lincoln penny? Well, my friends, it's not just your regular old penny. If you're new to the world of coins, let me break it down for you. This penny was minted in 1964, with a mint mark of D, which stands for the Denver Mint. And, like most pennies from that era, it was made out of 95% copper. But here's the kicker, some of these bad boys are worth far more than 1 cent, and I mean way more. Now, there are a lot of 1964 pennies out there, but only a select few 1964 DS are worth the big bucks. The rare ones were struck with a slight misalignment, or a double die error, basically, a minting mistake. Imagine the mint was having an off day and stamped it wrong. But because of this, certain 1964 D pennies have a double image of the lettering. This makes them highly collectible and worth a ton of money. Now, before you go digging through your couch cushions, I should probably let you know that finding one of these $1,000,000 pennies isn't exactly like finding gold at the end of a rainbow. Not every 1964D is worth that much. But, and here's the crazy part, the ones with the right errors can go for up to $1.6 million. Yes, you heard me right, million. That's not just a couple of bucks. That's a small fortune wrapped up in copper and zinc. Now, if you're like me and you don't have one of those $1,000,000 versions on hand, don't worry. Most of us aren't walking around with a small fortune in our pockets. But here's the good news. There are ways to spot these rarities, and if you're lucky enough, you could be the next coin millionaire. First, check for the double die error. You'll see the doubling most clearly in the lettering on the front, specifically, in Liberty and In God We Trust. If you notice some weird doubling or a blurry effect on those words, congratulations. You might have a valuable one on your hands. Also, keep an eye out for any other minting errors, like off-center strikes or unusual wear patterns. So, funny story. I was actually at a garage sale once, and I was sifting through some old coins. You know, just your typical penny collecting hobby stuff. I found a bunch of 1964 pennies, and for a second I thought, hey, maybe I'm about to strike it rich. Of course, after some intense magnifying glass action, I realized none of them were the valuable ones. But hey, at least I didn't pay more than a nickel for them. But seriously, coin hunting can be a lot of fun, and with a little bit of patience and some know-how, you might find something worth more than your average pocket change. Alright, folks, that's it for today's deep dive into the 1964D Lincoln penny. If you're out there flipping through pennies or digging through your change jar, now you know what to look for. Who knows? You might just have a future millionaire sitting at the bottom of your drawer. If you enjoyed today's video and want more tips on coins worth money, make sure to hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss out on future videos where I'll show you more rare coins and the strategies to find them. And hey, if you've got a penny or a coin that you think could be worth a small fortune, drop a comment below. Let's chat about it. 1979D Lincoln 1-cent penny. You may have one of these in your collection right now, or maybe you just found it tucked away in your pocket change. But hold on tight because this seemingly ordinary penny could be worth a lot more than you think. In this video, we'll explore its current market value, why it's so special, and how it could potentially be worth millions of dollars. If you enjoy learning about rare coins, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you don't miss out on more incredible coin finds. Let's start with a bit of history on this coin. The 1979D Lincoln penny was minted at the Denver Mint and is part of the Lincoln Memorial Series. Unlike some years where the minting process led to noticeable changes or errors, the 1979D penny looks pretty much like any other penny you'd find in circulation. However, there are a few key features and circumstances that make this particular coin stand out in the world of numismatics. The year 1979 wasn't as monumental for the Lincoln penny as some other years, but it holds significant importance for certain collectors, especially due to its association with the rare errors and misprints that can occur during production. A coin in this year's series can have variations that make it more valuable than its face value, and we're going to look at how these factors can influence its market worth. At first glance, the 1979D penny may seem like just another copper-plated zinc coin, but some features make it particularly interesting. It has the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse and Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, as we've seen with many pennies minted throughout the years. But what sets it apart are those subtle characteristics that might make it unique. Errors such as doubling, misaligned dies, or incorrect strikes can occur during the production process. The 1979D penny has had its fair share of these issues, and some of them have caused this coin to be worth far more than its original face value. Now, let's talk about the errors and varieties. The most sought after of these is the 1979D double die obverse penny. What exactly is a double die? It's when the coin's design is accidentally struck more than once during the minting process. This causes the image, particularly the details of Abraham Lincoln's portrait, to appear doubled or blurred. These errors are incredibly rare and valuable, And if you have a 1979D double die, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Other error types could include die cracks, off-center strikes, or the infamous filled D mint mark, where the mint mark D appears to be filled in due to excessive pressure during the striking process. Coins like these are much more desirable to collectors, and their value skyrockets in the marketplace. So, what is the current market value of the 1979D penny? The standard 1979D penny, in average circulated condition, is worth only a few cents. However, as with any rare coin, the value dramatically increases depending on its condition and whether it has any of the aforementioned errors or unique features. For a typical 1979D penny with no noticeable errors, the value is usually around 1 to 5 cents, which is its face value or slightly above. However, if you've got a 1979D with a double die obverse, you're looking at a much higher value. Some of these coins have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the condition and the level of the error. For example, a 1979D double-dyed penny in high-grade condition can easily fetch upwards of $1,000 at auction, and in some cases, rare examples have even surpassed $5,000. If you happen to find a perfectly preserved 1979D double die in mint state, your coin could potentially reach a six-figure value. The filled D mintmark varieties also hold strong value, sometimes selling for hundreds of dollars depending on their condition. So, if you're sifting through your penny jar, keep an eye out for any unusual characteristics. You may be wondering how a 1979D penny could be worth millions of dollars. Well, while it's extremely rare, certain extreme cases of the 1979D double die obverse or other major error coins could potentially break into the seven-figure range. It all depends on the coin's rarity, condition, and the buyer's market. High-grade error coins, particularly ones that have been authenticated and graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, are often sold through auction houses and can fetch astronomical prices, especially when they're discovered in small batches or original rolls. If you happen to own a particularly rare specimen, or if one of these pennies gets discovered in the right place at the right time, it could cause a bidding war among collectors and investors who are willing to pay millions for such a treasure. In recent years, some coins have sold for record-breaking prices, and the market for rare and error coins is only growing stronger. So, while it's unlikely that every 1979D penny is going to make you a millionaire, there's always a chance that yours might be that special one. To find out if your 1979D penny is valuable, you'll want to inspect it closely. Look for any noticeable doubling in the design, especially on Lincoln's portrait or the lettering. You'll also want to examine the mintmark carefully. If it's filled in or misshapen, that could be a good indicator that you have a rare error. If you're unsure about the condition of your coin or its value, it's always a good idea to get it graded by a professional coin grading service. A coin's grade can drastically impact its market value, and having it properly certified can help you get the best price if you decide to sell. In summary, the 1979D Lincoln penny is much more than just a coin you might come across in your pocket change. It holds potential value, especially if it has rare errors like the double die obverse or a filled mintmark. While most of these pennies are worth just a few cents, some are worth thousands, or even millions, of dollars. So, check your change, inspect your collection, and you might just find a small fortune hidden in plain sight. 1982 No Mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. This coin is far more than just a piece of currency. It's a valuable collector's item that could potentially be worth a fortune. So, stick around to learn everything about this coin, its history, and why it could be worth millions of dollars. Alright, let's get started by taking a close look at the 1982 No Mark Lincoln penny. At first glance, this coin may seem like any other penny, but it has some unique features that set it apart and make it highly sought after by collectors. The 1982 No Mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny was minted during a time when the U.S. Mint was undergoing some major changes. In 1982, the U.S. Mint transitioned from using copper to a zinc-based composition for the penny, and that's when the year of the penny became historically significant. This specific coin is part of that transition, And while many of these pennies were made with a small mint mark, like the D4 Denver, some rare versions were struck without a mint mark at all. Now, this is where things get interesting. The 1982 no-mark penny doesn't have the usual mint mark on the reverse side, and that's a key factor that makes it so rare. It's believed that only a small number of these coins were produced without the mint mark, making them highly valuable to coin collectors around the world. So, what makes this penny worth so much more than its face value? For starters, its rarity is the number one reason. If a coin was mistakenly struck without its mint mark, it immediately becomes a rarity among thousands of similar coins. But the fact that this particular penny was minted in 1982, right at the time of the copper to zinc transition, makes it even more desirable. Another factor that increases the value is the condition of the coin. Collectors are looking for coins in excellent, uncirculated condition. A 1982 no-mark penny that is graded at a high level, such as MS65 or higher, can command a premium price on the market. These pennies are not just rare, they're rare in high-grade condition. Let's talk numbers. A typical 1982 no-mark Lincoln penny in poor condition might only be worth a few dollars. But here's where it gets really exciting. The value can skyrocket when it's in near mint or mint condition. Some of these coins, when graded as MS65 or higher, can be valued in the range of $100 to $500, depending on demand and market fluctuations. However, if the coin is in exceptional condition, or even better, if it has been certified by a major grading agency like PCGS or NGC, it could fetch anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000 or more at auction. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny, worth only 1 cent when it was minted, could sell for thousands of dollars. In fact, some of these rare 1982 no-mark pennies have even been sold for over $10,000 in certain cases. It all depends on the rarity, condition, and demand. In 2019, a 1982 no-mark penny in gem condition was sold at an auction for an eye-popping $18,000, showing just how much a perfect example of this coin can be worth. So, what makes one 1982 no-mark penny worth more than another? Well, a lot comes down to several factors. First, the coin's condition is key. Coins that have been well preserved and show minimal wear and tear are going to be worth far more than those that have been circulating for years. Secondly, provenance, meaning the history of the coin and where it's been, can affect value. A penny with a known and reputable history will be more desirable. And let's not forget about demand. The market for rare coins is ever-changing, and certain coins can surge in value depending on trends, collector interest, and even the overall economy. If you think you might have a 1982 no-mark penny in your collection, you're probably wondering how you can determine its value. The first step is to have it graded by a professional service, like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. These organizations will evaluate the coin's condition and give it a grade, which will give you an idea of its market worth. Next, you'll want to check recent auction sales or look at online coin marketplaces to see what similar coins are going for. The value of rare coins can fluctuate, so it's important to stay updated on current trends. To wrap things up, the 1982 no-mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny is a rare and valuable coin that can be worth a lot more than its face value, especially if it's in top condition. Whether it's worth a few $100s or thousands, it all depends on factors like rarity, condition, and market demand. So, if you have one of these coins tucked away in your collection, it might be time to take a closer look and see if you're sitting on a potential treasure worth millions of dollars. 1982 The Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. Now, you might be thinking, a penny? Worth millions? Well, believe it or not, this coin has a fascinating story and a potential market value that could leave you stunned. Let's take a closer look at what makes the 1982 D penny so special and its current market value. To understand the worth of the 1982 D penny, we first need to know a little bit about its history. The 1982 D Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny was minted by the U.S. Mint in Denver. While most pennies from this year are just worth their face value of 1 cent, there's something that sets a few of them apart from the rest: errors, minting variances, and even changes in the coin's composition that can drastically affect its value. In 1982, the U.S. Mint made a major transition in the materials used for the penny. Prior to this year, pennies were made mostly of copper. But due to rising copper prices, the Mint started producing pennies with a mix of 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper. This switch led to a noticeable change in the appearance and sound of the penny. However, it's not the material change that makes the 1982 D penny so sought after. It's the rare errors and misprints that make some of these coins valuable. Now, let's talk about the market value. The 1982 D penny, in general, is still relatively common in circulation, but a few specific varieties have attracted attention from collectors, and that's where the value comes into play. First, one of the most notable era coins from the 1982 D series is the 1982 D copper penny. Yes, you heard that right. Some pennies that were meant to be made of the new zinc mix were accidentally struck with copper. These rare, copper, versions of the 1982 D penny are highly sought after by collectors because they're so uncommon. As of now, these pennies can fetch thousands of dollars, depending on their condition and authenticity. So, why is this penny worth so much? The rarity and the era that led to the copper version of the penny are what make these coins so valuable. For a coin to reach the levels of tens of thousands, or even millions, it typically needs to have a mistake or rarity that makes it stand out from the rest. In this case, the mistaken copper composition has left collectors eager to own a piece of history. These pennies are considered one of the most valuable era coins in recent U.S. Mint history, and it's not just the copper versions that are valuable. Over the years, other varieties and condition grades have also sparked the interest of coin enthusiasts. If you come across an uncirculated or high-grade 1982 D penny, it could be worth significantly more than a standard coin in worn condition. As for the current market value, the 1982 D copper pennies have been known to fetch anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000 or more at auctions, with the most pristine examples reaching higher amounts. The value can fluctuate based on factors like demand, condition, and how many of these rare pennies are found over time. Even in its regular form, though, an uncirculated or well-preserved 1982 D penny can hold more value than you'd expect. Pennies that are in top condition, such as those graded MS67 or higher by a grading service like PCGS or NGC, can sell for hundreds of dollars. The rarity of these high-quality coins makes them a prime target for collectors, and the market has proven that demand for these specific pennies is on the rise. So, how can you tell if you have a valuable 1982 D penny in your collection? First, you'll need to carefully examine the coin for any errors. The most significant mistake to look out for is the 1982 D copper era penny. Check the weight of the coin using a scale. If it weighs around 3.11 grams, it's more likely to be the copper version. You can also examine the color of the coin. If it appears more reddish or copper-toned, it could be a good sign. Beyond the errors, you'll also want to inspect the overall condition. A well-preserved coin with sharp details and no significant wear will always be more valuable than a heavily worn penny. Having your penny professionally graded by a reputable service will help you determine its true value. To wrap up, the 1982 D Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny is much more than just a coin. It's a piece of history with a potential value that could surprise many. While most of these pennies are worth only a cent, certain rare errors, particularly the copper versions, can fetch thousands of dollars or more. So, keep your eyes peeled if you're looking through your change or sorting through your collection. You might just stumble upon a treasure that could make you a small fortune. 1985 D Lincoln 1-cent penny coin, and why it's catching the attention of coin collectors and investors around the world, with some even claiming it's worth millions of dollars. Now, you might be wondering, a penny from 1985 worth millions? That's a lot for a 1-cent coin, isn't it? Well, before you dismiss it, let's dive into the details, because there are some very special factors about this coin that make it incredibly valuable in today's market. First things first, the 1985 D Lincoln penny is a standard 1-cent coin that was minted at the Denver Mint in 1985. Most of these pennies are fairly common, with millions produced and in circulation, so you'd think that they wouldn't be worth much. However, that's where things get interesting. Typically, a regular 1985 D penny in good condition is worth just 1 cent. But there's something that makes certain versions of this coin stand out, and it's all about errors, minting quirks, and extreme scarcity. Some 1985 D pennies have been found with rare errors or unique characteristics, making them far more valuable than your typical penny. One of the most important reasons why the 1985 D Lincoln penny has earned attention is due to error coins. When a minting process goes wrong, it can result in a coin with a unique mistake that sets it apart from others. These error coins can be highly sought after by collectors, driving up their value considerably. For the 1985 D penny, there are a few different types of error coins that could explain its increased worth. One of the most famous and valuable errors is known as the double die obverse error. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin shifts or is struck more than once, causing a doubling effect on the design of the coin. If you find a 1985 D Lincoln penny with this error, it can fetch a price much higher than face value. Another potential factor is the repunched mint mark error, where the D mint mark on the penny appears to be struck more than once, creating a double image of the D. This error is relatively rare, and as with any error coin, collectors are willing to pay top dollar for a piece that stands out from the rest. The scarcity factor. While a regular 1985 D penny may not be worth more than a few cents, if you find one of these rare error coins, their value could be in the thousands, or even higher. The rarity of these coins is what drives the demand, and with fewer of them in circulation, the prices can skyrocket. When it comes to coins, scarcity is a key factor in determining value. For example, a 1985 D penny in perfect condition or with a rare error can command anywhere from a few $100s to several $1,000s, depending on the specific details of the coin and its overall condition. But for error coins that have been authenticated and verified, prices can reach much higher numbers. So, why are some 1985 D Lincoln pennies worth millions of dollars? The answer lies in the combination of rarity, demand, and specific error characteristics. While not every 1985 D penny will fetch a fortune, certain error coins, especially those with clear and noticeable minting mistakes, can become the centerpiece of a collector's collection. The allure of owning a coin with a unique error, combined with its rarity, is what drives prices into the millions. Some of these rare error coins have been sold at auctions for staggering amounts, and when multiple collectors are interested in a particular coin, the price can soar to eye-watering figures. So, what should you look for if you think your 1985 D penny could be worth more than just 1 cent? The key is to carefully examine the coin for any signs of minting errors. Look for these errors appear as doubling on the date or inscriptions on the coin. Check the D mint mark to see if it appears doubled or misaligned. Unusual strikes. Sometimes, the coin might have strange indentations, uneven edges, or blurry designs. If you find anything that looks unusual or different from the typical 1985 D penny, it could be worth having the coin professionally graded and authenticated by an expert. A certified coin in high grade can fetch significantly higher prices at auctions. To wrap up, the 1985 D Lincoln penny, while seemingly just a regular penny from the 1980s, has the potential to be worth far more due to rare minting errors, limited supply, and the high demand from collectors. If you happen to find a 1985 D penny with a noticeable error, it could be worth thousands, or even millions, depending on the rarity and the condition of the coin. If you have a 1985 D penny in your collection, or if you spot one in your change, be sure to take a closer look. It might just be worth far more than you expect. 1986 No Mark Abraham Lincoln 1 cent penny. This seemingly ordinary penny is far from what meets the eye, and its current market value may just surprise you. So, if you've got one of these rare pennies in your collection, stick around to find out just how valuable it really is. Let's start with the basics. The 1986 Lincoln penny is a part of the long-running series of 1 cent coins that have featured the image of President Abraham Lincoln since 1909. However, the 1986 no mark version stands out from the rest because it lacks the mint mark you would typically expect to see, the D or S, signifying where the coin was minted. Normally, a mint mark is placed on the obverse side of the coin, under the date, indicating whether it was struck in Denver, Philadelphia, or San Francisco. But in this case, the 1986 penny doesn't have any mint mark at all, and this is what makes it so unique and rare. So how did the 1986 no-mark penny come to be? Well, this mystery lies in a production error that occurred during the minting process. While we typically associate mint marks with coins produced at a specific mint, the absence of a mint mark on this penny doesn't necessarily mean it was minted in Philadelphia. In fact, these coins were likely produced in Philadelphia but were mistakenly struck without a mint mark. This error, while not a widespread issue, has made this penny incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. It's important to note that such errors can happen from time to time, but the rarity and desirability of a coin like this are what really drive its value up in the market. Now, let's talk about what you're really here for: the current market value of the 1986 no-mark Lincoln penny. When it comes to error coins like this one, their value can vary significantly based on condition, rarity, and demand. But a general ballpark for this particular penny is impressive. At the time of this video, an uncirculated 1986 no-mark penny can sell for anywhere between $1,000 and $5,000 at auctions or private sales, depending on the grade of the coin. A well-preserved, high-quality version could easily fetch upwards of $10,000. However, this coin is extremely rare in such excellent condition. So, why does this 1986 no-mark penny carry such a high value? Well, it all comes down to the rarity of the error, along with the collector demand. Error coins are often seen as unique pieces of history, and that's exactly what makes the 1986 no-mark penny so attractive. Not every penny from 1986 lacks the mint mark. In fact, only a small fraction of the total number of pennies minted that year were produced without one. This is what makes the coin valuable: its rarity and the fact that collectors want to own a piece of history. And if you happen to have one of these pennies in pristine condition, you may be holding a small fortune. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Could the 1986 no-mark penny ever be worth $1 million? While it's unlikely for most individual pennies, there have been cases where rare coins have surged in value, especially if the condition is perfect and the coin is graded at the highest levels. However, to see a single 1986 no-mark penny reach that kind of value, we would need to see some incredibly rare conditions, such as a one-of-a-kind find or a bidding war between collectors. So, while it might not be at $1 million right now, the potential for this penny to appreciate in value over time is certainly there. It all depends on the market, demand, and how rare examples continue to emerge. Before you rush to check your change jar, let's quickly go over how you can identify the 1986 no-mark Lincoln penny. First, of course, you'll need to be looking at a penny from the year 1986. Look closely at the obverse side of the coin under the date to see if there's a mint mark. If you find that there is no mint mark, you're looking at the no-mark version. Check the overall condition of the coin. If it's in good condition or even better, consider getting it graded by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. This will help determine its exact market value, especially if you're planning to sell or auction it. So, to wrap up, the 1986 no-mark Lincoln penny is a rare and valuable coin that could fetch thousands of dollars on the current market, and in some cases, even more depending on the quality and demand. If you think you might have one, it's worth checking the condition and considering having it professionally appraised. Remember, the world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and you might just have a hidden treasure in your pocket. If you enjoyed learning about this rare penny, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell for more content on rare and valuable coins. 1988 no-mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny coin. You might be wondering, what makes this penny so special? Let's take a closer look. The 1988 penny is a part of the well-known Lincoln series, which has been in circulation since 1909. But this specific coin, the 1988 no-mark penny, is a rare variation that has made its mark in the numismatic world for a very specific reason. Unlike the typical 1988 penny, this coin lacks any mint mark, meaning it wasn't produced at any of the major U.S. mints such as Denver, Philadelphia, or San Francisco. This is incredibly rare and makes it a highly sought-after item among collectors. Now you may be asking, why does this lack of mint mark matter? Well, coins without a mint mark are much less common. Normally, every penny minted in the US carries a mint mark to indicate where it was produced. The absence of this mark on the 1988 penny makes it stand out, and that's what gives it its rare status. When it comes to the market value, this rare 1988 no-mark penny is worth significantly more than its face value of 1 cent. As of now, the current market value for a well-preserved specimen can range anywhere from a few $100s to over $1,000, depending on its condition. If you have one in mint condition, especially one graded at a high level, you could see offers pushing into the higher thousands. Some of these coins have even been known to sell for $1 million in rare cases. Grading plays a huge role in determining the value of any rare coin, including this one. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes. Coins that are graded in mint state, meaning they have no visible wear and are almost as fresh as the day they were minted, tend to fetch top dollar in the market. The 1988 no-mark penny in perfect condition can attract collectors from all over the world, making it a fantastic investment for anyone in the numismatic community. Some of the most notable sales of the 1988 no-mark penny have been in prestigious coin auctions, where they've reached high bids due to their rarity and desirability. In fact, some buyers have been willing to pay over $1 million for a coin in exceptional condition, proving just how valuable these pennies can be. So, how can you get your hands on one of these rare coins? Keep an eye out at coin shops, auctions, and even online marketplaces. If you happen to find one in your change, make sure to get it appraised by a professional. You never know, what seems like an ordinary penny might be worth a fortune. To all you collectors out there, remember that the world of coins is full of hidden treasures. Whether it's a 1988 no-mark penny or another rare find, the thrill of the hunt and the joy of discovering these coins are what make numismatics such an exciting hobby. 1988 The Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. Now you may think this coin is just a regular penny, but what if I told you it has the potential to be worth millions of dollars? Before we get into how this penny could be worth a fortune, let's take a closer look at the 1988 D penny itself. This coin was minted in Denver, Colorado, as indicated by the D mint mark, and features the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, the face we all recognize. While this coin might seem common, it's important to understand that the value of any coin is determined by several factors: rarity, condition, and any potential minting errors. Now, the 1988 D penny, in average circulated condition, is worth only its face value of 1 cent. But, and this is where it gets interesting, there are certain factors that could elevate its worth significantly. First, let's talk about the condition. A penny in pristine condition, especially one that is uncirculated, can fetch much more than a typical coin. Coins in mint condition, with no wear and tear, could be worth anywhere from a few dollars to several $100s, depending on the grade. For example, a coin graded as MS67 or higher, which is a mint state with no visible flaws, can command a premium price, and the higher the grade, the more valuable it becomes. So if you find a 1988 D penny in perfect, uncirculated condition, you're looking at a significant increase in value. However, there's a rare twist in this story. While there's no known error associated with the 1988 D penny, it's always possible that a mistake could have been made at the mint, which would make the coin even rarer and far more valuable. For instance, if you were to find a 1988 D penny with a double die or any other form of misstriking, that coin could be worth a small fortune. So, how exactly can a regular 1988 D penny become worth millions? Well, let's take a look at a similar example from the past. In recent years, we've seen certain rare pennies from the 1980s reach extraordinary prices due to their rarity, high-grade condition, and sometimes a hidden minting error. With the right buyer and perfect circumstances, a rare coin can be sold for millions of dollars, but it's all about that unique combination of rarity and perfect condition. To give you a rough idea, there have been pennies from the 1980s that were sold for up to several $100,000. If you happen to come across a 1988 D penny in near perfect or uncirculated condition, and perhaps even with an error, you could be sitting on a potential gold mine. Imagine discovering a coin you thought was just a regular penny, only to realize it's worth a fortune, perhaps even millions. That's the magic of coin collecting. It's not just about the face value, it's about what could be hidden behind that simple design. So, if you're out there searching for rare coins, keep an eye on your 1988 D pennies. While they may seem ordinary, in the right conditions, they can become extraordinarily valuable. 1992 D Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. You might have a few of these in your change jar, but did you know that one could be worth a lot more than just a penny? We're going to explore the current market value of this coin, what makes it so valuable, and how it can potentially be worth millions of dollars. So, let's get started. The 1992 D Lincoln penny, minted in Denver, is part of the ongoing series of pennies honoring one of the most iconic figures in American history, President Abraham Lincoln. On the reverse side, you'll see the familiar design featuring the Lincoln Memorial, which has been in circulation since 1959. But despite its familiar appearance, this coin is anything but ordinary in certain cases. When it comes to coin collecting and investing, the rarity and condition of a coin are key factors in determining its value. The 1992 D Lincoln penny is generally worth only 1 cent when it's in regular circulation and in average condition. However, for those with a keen eye and knowledge of specific errors and varieties, this penny has the potential to command a much higher price. Let's break down how that works. The most notable error associated with the 1992 D Lincoln penny is the rare, close AM, variety. Now, you might be wondering, what's so special about the close AM? In the standard 1992 D penny, the A and the M in the word America on the reverse are spaced apart with a noticeable gap. But in the close AM variety, these two letters are very close to each other, and sometimes they even touch. This subtle difference in design can make all the difference when it comes to value. So, how can you tell if your 1992 D Lincoln penny is a close AM variety? First, take a close look at the reverse of the coin, focusing on the word America. If you notice that the A and M are closer than usual, you may have discovered one of the rarest varieties of this coin. Now, what does this mean for the market value? Coins with the close AM error have been known to sell for anywhere from several hundred to thousands of dollars, depending on the condition of the coin and its rarity. A 1992 D close AM penny in excellent, uncirculated condition can fetch upwards of $10,000 or more in some cases. While finding one of these coins is quite rare, the hunt is what makes this coin so fascinating to collectors and investors alike. But the market doesn't stop at just the close AM variety. There are other factors that can influence the value of the 1992 D penny. For example, coins that are in pristine condition, graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, can increase in value exponentially. A well-preserved coin with no wear and tear, in mint state, can be worth a lot more than the typical penny you find in your pocket. If you're lucky enough to find a 1992 D Lincoln penny that has been preserved well over the years and possibly contains an error like the close AM, you could be sitting on a potential gold mine. And in rare instances, especially in auction settings, these pennies can go for much higher prices, even reaching into the range of millions of dollars for the right buyer and condition. But before you go rushing to check your change jar, keep in mind that not every 1992 D penny is worth a fortune. The key to unlocking its true value lies in its rarity, condition, and any potential errors. The best thing you can do is get your coins properly graded by a professional, so you can determine exactly how much it's worth. As the market for rare and valuable coins continues to grow, it's important to stay informed about the current trends and values. For collectors who are passionate about coins, the 1992 D Lincoln penny is a great example of how small details can make a world of difference in terms of value. So, if you happen to have a 1992 D penny, take a closer look, and who knows? You could be holding a coin worth thousands or even millions of dollars. And there you have it. That's everything you need to know about the 1992 D Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny, its current market value, and how a small error could make it worth a fortune. 1998 Lincoln 1-cent penny without a mint mark. This seemingly ordinary penny, found in circulation, has some extraordinary value in the market today. You won't believe what this coin could be worth. Stick around to find out why this penny is one of the most sought-after treasures in the world of numismatics. Most of us have seen and handled a 1998 Lincoln penny at some point in our lives. After all, it's a coin that's been in circulation for over 2 decades. But did you know that the 1998 penny, when it lacks the mint mark, could fetch you a small fortune? That's right, a coin worth just 1 cent can be worth 1,000 times that or more. To understand the significance of this coin, let's first take a quick look at the basics. The U.S. Mint produces pennies in different facilities, and most coins have a mint mark that indicates where they were made. The Philadelphia Mint typically does not add a mint mark to coins struck there, while the Denver Mint coins are marked with a D. However, in 1998, the U.S. Mint produced a batch of pennies at the Philadelphia Mint, but surprisingly, they didn't include a mint mark on these particular coins. This lack of a mint mark was unusual and led to a significant discovery by collectors. The absence of the mint mark on a 1998 penny is considered a rare error, making these coins highly collectible. So, what makes them so valuable? First, let's talk about the condition of the coin. The 1998 no mint mark penny, in its uncirculated form, can easily fetch thousands of dollars on the open market. Coins that are in pristine, gem-quality condition, with sharp details and no visible wear, are the most desirable. These coins can often be graded as high as MS-67 or even MS-68 by professional grading services. However, even if your 1998 penny is not in perfect condition, it could still be worth far more than its face value. Depending on the grade and rarity, even those with moderate wear can fetch anywhere from $100 to $500. In fact, some examples of the 1998 no mint mark penny have sold at auctions for over $1,000, and if you're lucky enough to have one in top-notch condition, you might even see it fetch upwards of $2,000 or more. And here's the kicker, it's not just a matter of rarity. The 1998 no mint mark penny carries historical value as well. Given that these coins were never intended to be produced without a mint mark, they represent an important anomaly in the production process of U.S. currency. This makes them even more desirable to collectors and investors who want to own a piece of American coinage history. Market trends show that the value of this coin continues to rise. With the increase in interest from collectors and investors alike, the 1998 no mint mark penny is becoming more and more valuable with each passing year. If you happen to have one of these in your coin jar, you might just be sitting on a small fortune. So, how can you tell if you have a 1998 no mint mark penny? The first thing to check is the date and the absence of the mint mark. If there is no D on the obverse of the coin, and it's a 1998 penny, you could be holding on to something special. It's always a good idea to have your coin professionally graded to determine its value more accurately. Remember, collectors will pay top dollar for these pennies, but only if they are in good condition. Keep your coin safe, and consider getting it appraised if you think you might have one of these valuable pieces. To wrap up, the 1998 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny is an incredibly rare and valuable coin that every serious coin collector should keep an eye out for. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just starting your collection, finding one of these coins could change the course of your collection and even your financial future. So check your change, and who knows, you might just find a little treasure worth $1 million. 2006 The Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. You might be thinking, isn't a penny just a penny? Well, not always. Some pennies hold incredible value, and today, we're going to take a deep look at why the 2006 Lincoln penny is worth far more than you might expect, with some even reaching up to $1 million in the right conditions. Let's start with a little background on the 2006 penny. The D on the coin refers to its mint mark, which indicates that it was minted in Denver. 2006 was an important year in U.S. coinage because it marked the continuation of the Lincoln Bicentennial Series, celebrating Abraham Lincoln's 200th birthday. This penny features the traditional image of Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. The reverse side of the 2006 penny displays the Union Shield, which was designed by U.S. Mint engraver John Mercanti. The reverse design was introduced in 2010 but debuted in earlier years as part of the ongoing coinage series celebrating Lincoln's legacy. Now, let's get to the important part: the value of the 2060 penny. At first glance, you might think that this penny is worth just 1 cent, which is its face value. However, in the world of numismatics, certain pennies have rare characteristics that can skyrocket their value. The 2060 penny is not particularly rare by itself, but certain varieties and errors can make it worth thousands of dollars, or even millions, if you know what to look for. First, let's talk about what could make a 2060 penny worth a fortune. Some 2060 pennies feature unusual errors, like off-center strikes, double dies, or other minting mistakes. These errors can significantly increase the value of a coin, and collectors are willing to pay a premium for them. For instance, a 2060 penny with a significant off-center error could be worth anywhere from a few $100s to several thousand, depending on the size and severity of the mistake. But here's where it gets even more interesting. When a 2060 penny is graded by a professional coin grading service, its condition plays a huge role in determining its market value. A penny in mint state, especially one with a grade of MS67 or higher, can be worth thousands. And if the coin has an exceptional error or is in perfect condition, it can command even higher prices. In some rare cases, a 2060 Lincoln penny with a notable error or in perfect condition has been sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you've got a rare one in your collection, it could even be worth $1 million, especially if it's the type of coin that comes with a unique or rare error that collectors are constantly searching for. While not every 2060 penny will fetch $1 million, the potential is there if you have a truly exceptional example. So, if you have a 2060 penny in your collection, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look, and if you think you might have something rare, it's worth having it professionally graded. A certified coin could be worth far more than you expect, and you might just be holding on to a small fortune. 2017 The Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny coin. Not only is this coin a significant part of U.S. history, but it could also be worth more than you think, potentially reaching up to millions of dollars. That's right, a penny from 2017 might not just be pocket change. Let's explore the story behind this coin and why it's catching the attention of collectors. First off, let's talk about the design. The 2017 D penny is part of the ongoing series of pennies that have featured Abraham Lincoln since 1909, marking the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's death. The obverse, or front, of the coin showcases Lincoln's profile, designed by Victor David Brenner. This portrait has become iconic, symbolizing the legacy of the 16th President of the United States. On the reverse, we have the familiar shield design, which was introduced in 2010 to represent the strength and unity of the country. But what makes the 2017 D penny unique? While most of the 2017 D pennies are considered standard circulation coins, some have a certain rare combination of factors that could elevate their worth dramatically. Coins are valuable for many reasons, but the rarity and quality of the minting process are key. For the 2017 D penny, certain examples have emerged with errors or unique characteristics that make them much more valuable than their face value. One of the reasons this penny could be worth millions is due to rare errors. Some 2017 D pennies have been found with minting mistakes, like doubled dies, misstrikes, or incorrect engravings. These coins, known as error coins, are highly sought after by collectors. A rare misstrike or a doubled die could significantly increase the value of a penny, pushing it into the thousands or even millions. For example, if you find a 2017 D penny with a visible doubled die, where part of the design, like the date or letters, is doubled, it could be worth tens of thousands of dollars in mint condition. In certain cases, collectors have paid top dollar for just a single penny with this type of error, especially if it's in near-perfect condition or has been graded highly by professionals. Another potential factor that can raise the value of a 2017 D penny is the sheer scarcity of certain varieties. There are reports of certain mint marks being less commonly found, making them more desirable among collectors. The D mint mark for Denver, where this particular penny was struck, may not seem rare on its own, but when combined with other unique qualities, the value skyrockets. So, what's the current market value of this penny? As of now, most standard 2017 D pennies are worth just 1 cent. However, when we factor in those unique errors or rare conditions, the value changes dramatically. For example, a 2017 D penny with a significant error, such as a doubled die, could be valued anywhere from $50 to several $1,000s, depending on the severity of the error and its condition. In fact, some of the most highly sought-after 2017 D pennies, those with flawless characteristics, have been known to sell for tens of thousands. Now, here's where things get really interesting. If you're lucky enough to find a pristine 2017 D penny with multiple rare characteristics, such as a well-placed doubled die or a major minting flaw, the coin could be worth a fortune. While it's extremely rare, it's not impossible for one of these special coins to fetch prices in the millions at auction, especially if there's a bidding war among serious collectors or investors. Remember, the value of rare coins isn't just about the coin itself, it's about the demand in the collector's market. Certain coins become incredibly valuable over time as their rarity increases and their condition is preserved. So, how can you spot a valuable 2017 D penny? The first thing to do is to examine the condition of your coin. A well-preserved penny, free from scratches, discoloration, or excessive wear, stands a better chance of being valuable. After that, look closely at the design. Are there any signs of minting errors? Is the date or lettering doubled? These are the things to look for. If you think you might have a rare 2017 D penny, it's best to take it to a professional coin grader. A certified grader can assess the quality of the coin and assign it a grade based on its condition. This grade will ultimately impact its market value. If you're lucky enough to find a valuable 2017 D penny, the next step is to sell it. There are several avenues for selling rare coins, including online auctions, coin dealers, or specialized coin shows. Some high-end auction houses even host coin-specific events where rare pennies and other collectibles are sold to the highest bidder. So, to wrap it up, the 2017 D Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny might seem like just another penny at first glance, but if you keep your eyes peeled for errors and rare varieties, it could be a hidden gem worth thousands, or even millions, of dollars. Coin collecting isn't just about finding a rare coin, it's about understanding the history, the value, and the market trends. If you're in possession of a 2017 D penny, it's worth taking a closer look.